Today on Valentine's Day, one man in Ireland gets more flowers than anyone else, and no, it isn't me. It is this man buried here in Glasnevin Cemetery, General Michael Collins, of course. Michael has been gone for over 100 years. He still gets flowers delivered to his grave every Valentine's Day, as well as throughout the year as well. So if you want to have a closer look here, this is absolutely the most visited grave in Ireland. So they're not placed here by people who work in Glasnevin Cemetery. People from not only around the country but around the world come out to Glasnevin. So for example, you might have heard the story of the mysterious French woman. Now, that mysterious French woman's name is Veronique, and Veronique fell in love with Michael Collins after watching the movie that was released about his life starring Liam Neeson. She felt that she had a great connection to the story of Michael, and so she sends flowers throughout the year. As well as Veronique, another visitor from overseas who loves Michael Collins is a woman who simply refers to herself as the Yank in the cards that she sends over throughout the year. Valentine's Day in particular, you'll notice this red rose alongside the American flag. Now, as well as that, the Collins Society, which come out to attend to the grave every Saturday, they always have to ensure that there is a flower from the Yank placed at his grave every single week. So it gives you an idea as to the love that people still have for Michael Collins well over a century after his death. There's a great aura about Michael Collins in Irish history. There's a lot of romanticism about him, as you can tell from his grave here on Valentine's Day. He died at the age of 31, a young man with an entire future ahead of him. And so people would always ask, what would the country look like had he lived? It's a very interesting question to consider. Now, a tragically romantic story about Michael Collins is of course his love with Kitty Kiernan. Now, Kitty lived until 1945. She had married a man named Felix Cronin, but on her deathbed she made her husband promise, "Bury me as close as possible to Mick Collins." And so she's buried just a stone's throw away. So poor Felix Cronin, they named their son Michael Collins Cronin. So a very understanding man. And when I say that he lived in Michael Collins' shadow, I do mean that literally, because they had a massive portrait of Michael Collins in the living room of their house. And so Kitty went to her grave still very much in love with Michael Collins. Though, as I say, from what you can see on the grave here, if she was around today, she would certainly have a lot of competition. In fact, I was talking to a colleague once who told me she was chatting once to a young woman who was in her 20s, who said that she would never marry anyone because no man would ever meet Michael Collins' standard. And so to be loved and admired in history as Michael Collins is loved and admired, it's always helpful to have a couple of qualities that he had. To be charismatic, intelligent, good looking of course, but then I'm afraid also to die young.